Hi, Sandy. I'm TAMRA Chandler, CEO and founder of People Firm. We're a management consultancy that thinks about all things people, talent, and organizations. Tell me about yourself.
Sandy Asche, Principal of Alliance for Organizational Excellence, and we are developing resilient leaders and creating great places to work.
So what does a great place to work look like, Sandy?
Well, I think you and I are very aligned on what a great place to work is. For me, there are a couple of things, and one is unity, so real alignment around a sense of purpose and people feeling like they really belong, so that when they go to sleep at night, they have a sense of fulfillment. I think that's big. I think we're very big and very good at achievement in this world, but not so good at fulfillment. And the second piece of that, I think, is dignity, treating people with a kindness and a respect, creating a loving, compassionate organization where people feel valued, they feel cared for, and they have the opportunity to manifest their full potential. What makes a great place to work, in your opinion?
Well, all those things. I think that's all good. Today, I think a lot about safety. And we've heard a lot of the presenters talking about the VUCA world, volatile, uncertain, chaotic. We just at People Firm always say it's crazy out there. And I think a place we often have to start is creating safety inside so we can manage the chaos that's outside. And so I think safety is a lot of what you talked about, that connectivity to the purpose and the mission of the organization, but also that ability to sort of show up as who we are, be authentic, inclusive in that, and step away from the feeling of continual assessment and more towards a focus on growth and development and recognizing we're all a work in process and being able to be okay with that.
I like that, bringing the human back into the workplace. Yeah. I know one of the areas you're interested in as well as I am is the area of resilience. Yes. So what does resilience inside of organizations mean for you?
I think it is that ability to snap back when something's gone unexpectedly wrong, or sometimes even expectedly wrong, but that ability for an organization to kind of step back, take stock, recover, and step forward. I think of resiliency as a choice, but we need to help people understand that that is a choice that they have and build that capability within people.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, for me, I think resilience is definitely the ability for people to bounce back from setbacks. What I notice in my work with organizations is people get tired of the trampolining back and forth. And so one of my areas of focus is to give people not just the right mindset, but the right skill set as well, and have them proactively develop the right behaviors so that when the next storm comes, and it will, there's always a circumstance or a situation, that people can stay firm and they shake, but they don't break. And one of my favorite analogies for resilience is just like a tree, for people to grow deep roots and a strong core so they can position themselves for exponential growth. And I think for the most part, organizations and people think of resilience as sort of a personality trait, or let's wait and see how resilient we are. Right. And I'm very big on developing those skills ahead of time so that people have what they need to really respond effectively to whatever's coming at them. Mm-hmm.
I love that. Do you start with leaders, or where do you start?
Just like you, with any organization, I start where there's desire and appetite, where there's a vessel.
That always helps.
That's where you start, right? So it comes from different parts inside of the organization. And really, you just need one leader who has the right consciousness. So how do you start in your efforts to transform an organization?
Oh, I think you kind of nailed it. You have to start with someone who's ready to take a hold of it and do something different, and build from there, and build both the capacity and the capability to do that. So to your point of capability, I think is important. I think we've also heard a lot at the conference today about these overcommitted organizations, and that gets into capacity too. I think we don't give people enough white space to manage and to sort of get their heads back together. So I think you have to kind of think about both elements. and build for both.
And I think it takes courage.
Oh, courage
It takes
is huge.
enormous courage for a leader to say the way we've been doing things is no longer serving the greater good, and I'm going to speak up and take the risk and be bold, get out on those skinny branches and move in a different direction. And one of those directions, of course, is the area of performance management. And I know that's big, and you have a new book coming out. Well, congratulations.
Yeah, so I've had a book, my book on performance management. It's 2 years old, actually. It's interesting because while we thought that most organizations were going to be transforming performance management in 2015, 2016, there was a lot of talk about it. We're finding that most organizations still have not. Probably only about 20 or 25% of organizations have done anything radically different. And there's many things holding them back. Courage is one of them, having the courage to really step away from what they've done before. But particularly how they understand recognition in a world that may be rating free. That's a big struggle. And also this issue of not really trusting their managers to make the right decisions and do the right things. So there's a lot to unravel there. But I have hope. I have hope that, that 20% will continue to grow. There's more research and science coming out that is behind, the work that I've done and others have done about how we completely rethink whatever it is we'll call it in the future, because hopefully it won't be called performance management. Yes. But how we rethink that in a way that really shifts back to the human again. We put the human back in the center of it. We take away the mechanisms and the mechanics, and we focus on growth and development. And it's in the end, it's that easy, but it's that hard, right? But that's where we need to
It's
go.
simple, but not easy, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's obvious now that we're at point, I think maybe an inflection point in the workplace where we just go back to the basics of what it means to be kind and respectful. So in South Africa, we grew up with a term called Ubuntu. Are you familiar with that?
No.
U-B-U-N-T-U, Ubuntu. And it's a Zulu term for kindness, caring, and compassion. And it really even goes beyond that to create that sense of community and an environment of trust, of safety, and of well-being where people get to fully express themselves. And the more we can go back to that, those simple ideas and principles, the better off we'll all be, and performance management will become a joy.
Right.
Right? That would be a great dream realized.
Yes.
And it will be one day.
One day.
Yeah. So if we were going to wrap up, what would be sort of the one thing you would say to HR leaders about what they need to be thinking about?
Oh gosh, I think the one thing I would say is that courage piece. I think they have to have the courage to step away from the practices and the habits and the processes that we all grew up with and think completely different with a blank sheet of paper and with the human, as we said, in the middle of that paper. And what would we do then? What about you?
I would say the one thing is to really get their arms around what the purpose of the organization is, different and distinct from the vision and the mission. I think a lot of companies still think the vision and the mission is what's driving them, but what people's hearts are yearning for is a sense of purpose and meaning. And when you, as an HR leader, can start to sort of shepherd the organization in the direction of getting very clear about what the purpose is, and then having it become compelling for people so that people want to get up in the morning, they want to come to work, they want to innovate, they want to add value, they want to bring their friends, then the struggle around engagement and the struggle around talent attraction and retention starts to go away, because people just love to come to work every day. That would be my dream.
Love that dream.
Yeah.
With you in it. Great.
Thank you so much. It was fun. Thanks.